Now we are going to do the same thing for the Blazor app as well. Right click, click on re-platform to Azure, click on new report, Azure App Service Windows, click next, next, and click on analyze. Here you can see there is no mandatory issues. That's good. If you want to understand, like in the previous app there was a lot of issues, so if you are somebody who works on this and if you want to interpret this analysis results, this particular article kind of gives you a detailed analysis on how you can interpret these issues with different codes and things like that. So have a look into this. It's called interpret the analysis result. This is under migrate to Azure. Now, because there is no issues in this, let's go and learn how you can prepare the Blazor application for migration. So first, let's go and launch the PowerShell and let's run the script. This is the readiness result we have run before. So I'm gonna run that again. R to run, R to run again. All right, so the Blazor has been packaged and it is stored under scripts packages, and so the application is ready to be migrated. Now we can do this manually in Azure by going into the Azure portal, or you can do that in the PowerShell. So let me show you the PowerShell experience. So click on connect AZ account. This is how you can connect to an Azure account from PowerShell. Hit enter. It will ask you to provide the username and password. Alright, so provide the username, provide the right password and click on sign in. If the authentication is successful, you will get this message back that authentication is successful. And to prepare the migration, you can run another script. So I showed you in the beginning, so I have all this script ready in my local device. So this is the generate migration settings, and what it is going to do is take that package and create a region called East US for that particular subscription, and it's going to run that script. All right, so let's validate this. So resource group couldn't find, but it says that resource group will be created during the migration, and setting the default tier as premium v3, and the migration settings has been successfully created and written to the migration JSON file. So let's go and open the migration settings file. Let's run this code migration settings.json and enter. So this is the migration script which is going to run. This is the JSON file. We can modify the Azure site name. So here the Azure site name is called Blazor. So instead of Blazor, let's rename that to Blazor and some random number so we know what it is. And this name has to be a globally unique for any sort of DNS resolution. So if I had done this in the past, if this same name exists or this we have done, this will not work. And let's go to file and save and close this. The next is migrate this application. So to migrate, I'm gonna run another command. So I have a script for migration. So it's called invoke site migration ps1. You can get all of that from the Microsoft Docs. And we're going to follow all the instruction provided in the migration settings JSON. We have just seen what it is there, and we have named the application just before. And let's run this. All right, so now while this is doing this task, let us log into the Azure portal. So I'm going to go to the portal. So to go to the Azure portal, go to portal.azure.com, sign in, cancel, and let's go to the resource group. So let's go to the search box and type in resource groups. You can see there is a default resource group created. Open that, and now you can see that with an Azure App Service plan, and an app service. You can see that there is an Azure App Service and Azure App Service plan, and this is hosting the web application. But I don't think this is fully functional. So right now the migration is app happened. So if you go back to the PowerShell, you can see that all the activity, whatever happened. So based on what the information we provided in the script, it is setting the default tier as premium v3. Oh no. So based on what we have run within the migration settings.json, first it created the Azure App Service plan. Then the resource group has been created in East US, creating the Azure App Service plan, migrated the site Blazor, created the web app called this name what we have given. Then it configured some Azure settings. If there is any virtual directories need to be configured, all of that, and successfully migrated the Blazor site. So that's the default way to migrate. So because I don't think this is running yet, so let's go to the Blazor app service. And if I click on the Blazor app, yeah, you can actually see it is running in Azure, just like how it was running in on premises. So this time it is coming from the Azure website, so that is quite cool. So now to modify this, let's go into this app. Inside the Azure App Service, on the left hand side navigation, let's go click on settings. And under setting, if you scroll down, you can see scale up and scale out. So let's select the scale out app service plan. So here we have multiple scaling option. The scale out method is currently set to manual. Then there is automatic and rule based. Let's modify that to automatic. Now it is platform managed scale out based on the traffic. So based on the load, we can configure the further load settings as well. So if you scroll down, if you select automatic, you will get multiple options like what is going to be the maximum burst. So I'm going to provide like 3, or you just need to move the slider. Always ready instances, I'm going to keep it as 1. Do you want to enforce the scale out limit? Yes, let's enforce it. And maximum scale limit, again, you can move the slider. I'm going to make it as 3 and click on save. So this is how you can come in here after migration to actually leverage the scaling aspect and all the platform as a service offering within Azure to further modify your application once you move from your on-premises to Azure. Now let's go and learn about how you can enable monitoring. Another huge benefit of hosting your services in Azure is the ability to monitor your application and track any sort of specific metrics. So to do that, let's go to the application, and on the left hand side navigation, if you can't find it, you can always search here monitoring. So within monitoring, you can see there are alerts, logs, and application insight. So we're going to look into application insight. And Azure App Service allows you to easily enable monitoring through the portal to connect to your site to application insight. So what is application insight? Application insights logs metrics and application telemetry data, which features such as live metrics, usage, and smart detection, etc. So how do you turn on? All you have to do is click on turn on application insight. All right. And if you want to further read and see additional things, you can do that. We are not going to do anything. We're just going to hit apply and apply monitoring settings. That is going to turn application insight specifically for this Blazor application. All right, so the validation is being passed. Now the application is deploying. Our application insight module is being getting deployed. All right, so it is applying the changes, updating the extension. All the changes has been updated. So now, because the application insight is be ready, now let's do an availability test. The application insight availability test allows us to continuously monitor the responsiveness of the application. So within the application insight, let's go back. I'm going to click on logs and click on application insights. Let's close this notification tab, or let's go out of it and let's search for application insight.